Okay. All right, welcome to the Wednesday, July 2nd Caucus and Work Session of Albany Common Council. Mr. Jimenez, please call the roll.
Adams.
Present.
Anane. Ballerin is absent. Clark is absent. Conti.
Here.
Farrell.
Here.
Flynn is absent. Frederick. Hoey. Johnson. Keegan. Kimbrough.
Here.
Love. Robinson. Zamer is absent. 4 present. We're also joined by City Clerk Shaniqua Jackson, Deputy Corporation Counsel Brett Williams, Legislative Director Brian Jimenez, Junior Policy Analyst Alyssa Kamara, and we are now joined by Councilmember Keegan. And we have CPRB Program Director Garrett Schaff in the audience.
Okay, thank you. So jumping into the agenda, I'll be offering the June 16th meeting minutes for approval. No local laws. Moving on to ordinances, we've got ordinance introduced by Mr. Johnson. It's 97125. It's an ordinance authorizing the sale of 34 Cherry Street to the Housing Authority. That'll be a referral to Council Finance Committee. Next, under ordinances introduced, we have an ordinance 107125 by Ms. Frederick, an ordinance authorizing the sale of various city-owned properties to the Albany County Land Bank. Also, a referral to the Finance Committee. Next, on to resolutions introduced by Ms. Frederick, resolution 687125R. It's a resolution of council approving the transfer of budgeted funds and a change in authorized positions included in the 2025 budget, which will affect the salary total. It's a referral to finance.
Just a quick note on Resolution 69. I believe the administration was hoping this could be up for additional discussion.
For which one?
697125R.
Okay, yeah, that's the one I'm going to next. Okay, so on 69, Ms. Love, 697125R. I was going to refer to Parks and Rec for further discussion because I know we want to, well, there has to be decisions made on who they actually put on the murals, and so that can be discussed in that committee. So it's a referral to Parks and Rec. Now, what did the mayor want or hope for?
Basically that. Just didn't want to push the resolution forward without having a conversation about who the honorees on the mural should be.
Yep. Let's go into the committee to Parks and Rec. Next. By Ms. Keegan's Resolution 7125R, Resolution of Council demanding departments of the City of Albany furnish books, vouchers, and papers for Common Council investigation of workforce culture. So I was back and forth with, it's from the committee, right?
If I may, so we discussed this in committee. We're going to have to go into executive session to discuss the purpose of that during the meeting, and it will in order for the resolution to be put forward, it has to be voted on by the entire body. So the committee is aware that we're doing it. They approve the resolution. I don't think it needs to go back to committee to go back to the body again.
So did you want us to discuss it, or was the idea for it to go back to your committee?
I don't think it needs to go back, because all the committee members will have a chance to vote on it that night and discuss it that night. But we did discuss this in executive session at our last committee meeting in May, and what the contents would be in the resolution and the purpose and who it involves.
But, and so what you're saying is that also during the regular meeting, we're going to need to go in the executive session to?
We have to as part of the
personnel.
process, because you have to know what you're approving, who specifically you're approving those records for.
Okay. So we'll be moving forward with voting on that.
I do just have one suggested or requested amendment on this. In the be it resolved paragraph, the large paragraph, with regard to most of the requests, it makes it clear that those requests are being made just for the named individual or individuals, whoever those people are. But with regard to sort of the last clause where it's referring to collective bargaining agreements, exit interviews, financial disclosure forms, vehicle logs, and geographical positioning software data, the way it reads, it doesn't really make it so that those requests are particular to just the named individuals. Sort of just makes it so that all individuals are looking for data on those things for all individuals. So if we could just clarify, hopefully, that the...
So you're looking for specificity?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to name the individuals, just as with the rest of the paragraph where it says, pertaining to the named employees, just if we could add that to that last clause there.
I'm happy to make that change. I think this is the exact language we had in the last one, which is exactly what the city furnished. But if you want that wording put in, I have no problem doing that, because it really is just specific to that one individual.
Yeah, I figured as much, but I guess if we could just clarify that.
Okay, so we'll be moving forward with it. You're going to make those adjustments okay, all right. So next is a resolution by Mr. Hoey for July 4th is Independence Day. We're typically all co-sponsors on that. Can you make us all co-sponsors? We'll be moving forward with that. The next resolution by Mr. Johnson is 727125R. It's resolution honoring the life and legacy of Destiny A. Green and renaming a portion of Wilbur Street in her honor. It'll be a referral to the General Services Committee. Okay, and then next by Mr. Ballerin is a resolution 737125R, resolution of the Common Council appointing Jonathan Nix as a member of the Commission on Monuments and Public Art. And we'll be moving forward with voting on that. Was in your committee, Mr.? Did this go through your committee? Yes. Positive recommendation? So, okay.
Yeah, that came out of, so that was out of Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, yeah.
Why was that? Why is Alfredo the sponsor?
That's a good question.
Shouldn't that be?
We should.
There should be correction there.
Can you adjust that, Mr.? Yep.
Yeah, and I can speak about Jonathan Nix. He interviewed very well, knows a lot about the history of Albany, and have a graphic design kind of background, et cetera. So I think that, moved out of committee with a positive recommendation, really impressed all the committee members.
Okay. All right. So that's it for the...
Sorry, so that was an issue on the tracker itself, on the legislation itself. Councilmember Nane is listed as the sponsor for Jonathan Nix.
Okay.
That's why it shows in the agenda that way.
Yeah, it just shows on the active calendar.
There is also just a brief duplication for Liz Richards. What was it? 747125 should be Brian Fonder.
One more time?
74.71.25R. That one should be Brian, B-R-Y-A-N, Fonder, F-O-N-D-E-R. And that'll be on an amended agenda.
And that's Mr. Ballerin? Are we talking
That
about
one- Sorry, just moving ahead, just to try to catch the issue before you notice, before you talk about it there. They would be both a non-A.
Gotcha. Because they're both the same commission. Okay. Thank you. That's it for that. So, through the agenda, what we're going to do, I don't know, a couple of years back, we had a resolution where we made it so leadership of the council could adjust meeting days or times. So since we're dealing with what we're dealing with, what leadership came up with is a plan to suspend our Wednesday caucuses, and in turn extend our Monday caucuses. So we're going to start our Monday caucuses at 6 p.m. instead of 6:30, and forego the Wednesday caucuses.
Just for the summer,
Just for this,
not indefinitely. And it will be starting not at this upcoming Monday, Monday, because we had this caucus, will still be at 6:30.
Yeah.
But then after that, we thought that we would try it. It's tough to get a quorum
You think?
at caucus. And it also would allow people to perhaps make some plans. It also, it's
Yeah,
a lot
both
on our staff to be
yeah.
here all the time. So we're going to start after this upcoming meeting. So this upcoming meeting, still 6:30. After that, we will not have a Wednesday caucus through the rest of July. And we'll have a longer caucus starting at 6 o'clock at the second meeting in July. Then we'll go back to the regular schedule.
September 10th.
Yes.
September 10th? After Labor Day.
So, yes,
Yes,
after Labor
after
Day.
Labor
So the meeting that is that Thursday after Labor Day, that's going to be 6 o'clock, the same thing as normal, but then we'll start back up with our Wednesday caucus, September 10th, and we'll see how it goes. If it's something that we find that we need more time, something like that, we might we might need to bring back the Wednesday caucuses, but we figured it would be worth to maybe give people a little bit more flexibility in the summer, and also our staff fewer nights here, hopefully.
Yeah, because committee meetings are obviously still going on, so, but it's a way to try to get better turnout and get some stuff done. So that was it. Does anyone have, you want to do the public safety thing, the pepper spray thing, or?
We didn't get any feedback yet.
Right.
There was an incident after the Albany High graduation.
Megan brought it to our attention. You want to?
Yes, and I've just seen it's on social media a lot. We haven't heard back yet, so once we do, we'll update everybody on it.
I do have some additional information because APD did get back to me. APD was not involved. They did not have any officers there. It was the Albany County.
Oh, it's the sheriff's. That's right.
Yeah, it was the Albany County Sheriff's Office. My understanding is that Sheriff Apple is going to release the video footage, the body cam footage, and my understanding is that Internal Affairs at the Sheriff's Office is reviewing the incident, but initially, my constituent had identified APD as being involved, which is why I reached out to you all, because I was hoping to see if we could get some information, and I had linked the folks that reached out to CPRB, but CPRB doesn't have authority over anybody but APD. So that's all the information I have. I haven't seen the body cam footage. I don't know when the sheriff is planning to release it. But they indicated that there were actually 2 fights that broke out between different individuals. And I don't know what their policies are. I know that our internal policies would not necessarily have supported the deployment of chemical spray because of the crowd that was there. But they may have very different policies.
Right, so but what I will do, because this is a regular thing, the sheriffs, the deputies function and do work in our city, so just as we would ask of the chief to come and speak to us about that, I'll ask, through public safety, we'll ask Sheriff Apple to respond to that and see if we can get him in here to give us some clarity on that situation, so. But yeah, I'd forgotten that the sheriffs took over the MVP arena.
Yeah, that's what APD responded to me, is that the sheriff's office does all the security for MVP. And it just seemed, from the description that I received from my constituents, that the officers began driving vehicles through the crowd before giving any warnings in order to try and disperse the crowd and reopen that part of, what is it, South Pearl or Broadway?
Yeah.
And that
Pearl.
as that was happening, a fight broke out. They didn't give any verbal indications that they were going to engage the way that they were going to engage, so people were totally unaware that that was coming.
Yeah.
And it got very chaotic.
So I'll try to get us some answers. So, did you have something?
I
Ms.
believe
Jimenez?
Councilmember Ballerin was hoping to introduce something by majority consent.
Yeah, I had like a real quick conversation with him, but do you have the numbers or the information on it?
Not
He did
the
call
numbers
me.
just yet, but it is for something called the Ontario Street development, project over at 130 Ontario Street. They're hoping to submit a grant application through Empire State Development's Pro Housing Supply Funds program.
Yeah, they're looking for a resolution in support of them submitting for this funding. We've done it before for other entities, so yeah. If you could, as soon as you can.
Yeah, we'll have language
Get that out
finalized for
to
that.
members so they can see it, but
And I believe Councilmember Adams was hoping to have a Firebirds resolution introduced.
yes, yes. So do you want to just speak on it real quick, or just let folks know?
Yeah, so over the weekend, the Firebirds football team had won the championship. And so I had got in contact with the team's manager and was asking if we would bring them in if the team could make it. They said they would be excited too, but some of their players, or most of the team, goes back home within the next week or two. So they were asking if we can try to do this as soon as possible, so that way most of the players can make it. So again, I asked staff if we could possibly MC this at the meeting if the team can make it on Monday.
Yeah. So we'll be doing an MC resolution honoring the Firebirds. And that's it. Anyone have anything else? No? All right. We're good to go.